Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's doing great and you're having an awesome day. In this video, I will share with you one of the worst experiences that I've had in my entire life, alright? It happened during the past week, alright? And it took me a couple of days just to get that video out there, but I hope it helps someone and prevent you from living it, alright? So listen to the end. So, someone I know who's in the fitness industry, well, he got a pre-workout that was from the States. So we're in Canada, so he got a pre-workout that was from the States. So uh, pre-workouts from the States can be a lot stronger, all right? They can have substances that we might not have here in Canada. So anyways, he shared that with me. He told me he's got a pre-workout very strong from the States, and that it was not allowed in Canada. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a very strong pre-workout. It's really gonna have a lot more caffeine, and I'm used to drinking 5 cups of coffee sometimes a day. So I'm like, whatever. It's like, oh, do you want to try it? Yeah, of course. So he puts it to me in a small container. I don't really know how much I had inside. All right, so he gives that pre-workout to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it next morning. That's cool. He gave me a pre-workout sample that I'll try tomorrow, and it has to be strong, so it's gonna give me a crazy pump. He told me it's strong, so it might have a lot more caffeine. And actually, I did take the picture of the pre-workout. I have the label, the picture. I didn't really do much research, I just saw a nice container, so I'm like, well, it looks like there's a fun image, and it looks nice. It has a nice name also, so I'm like, whoa, I'll get a crazy workout in. All right, I had a back session, so I train in the morning, so I kept it for the next morning. So Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. All right, I usually wake up, I have bagels, I have my protein shake, and then it's time for me to go hit the gym. So I take that little sample, that little plastic container that he gave me. All right, and I'm not blaming him at all. All right, I should have been a lot more careful. So, anyways, I put that in water, I drink it, and I head to the gym. All right. So as soon as I finish drinking it, actually, I start feeling like my face was getting a little bit itchy. But it's part of the pre-workout. All right. We have pre-workouts here in Canada that do that. So it wasn't a big deal for me. So I walk, start feeling like full of energy. I get to the gym. I did one set of lat pull downs, and then I started feeling my heart racing like crazy. I've never heard my heart, but that time I was feeling my heart boom, 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 racing like crazy. And as soon as I woke up, I got up of the machine, my vision started getting a little bit blurry. All right, so not too much, just a little bit blurry. If you've ever went to a shisha place, let's say, you see all the smoke. Well, that's how I felt in the gym. I felt that there was smoke. All right, my vision wasn't 100% clear, and my heart was beating like crazy. My head was spinning. I started getting dizzy after the first set, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I just did one set. I didn't really think about the pre-workout at that time. I'm like, what's going on? Everything that I did was like usual. What's going on? And then right away, I start feeling more and more dizzy and super thirsty. I've never felt that thirsty in my entire life. So I take my shaker, I drink the whole thing. So I drink almost 750 milliliters of water, all done, and I feel thirsty right away, and my mouth got so dry, and then I'm like, oh, whoa, it's the pre-workout that I took. So then I go to the receptionist at the gym, and I grab a Gatorade. In my mind, my blood sugar went too low, so I'm like, maybe I gotta raise my blood sugar so I'm back on track. Then I take this Gatorade, I ask for the one that has the sugar, because we have a sugar-free one. I drink it all in one shot. I open it, I drink it, I barely tasted it, right? It was an orange Gatorade. I drank it one shot, boom, put it down, and I'm like, whoa, I'm still thirsty. What's going on? What's happening? I'm not feeling well. And as I'm walking, because I got up from the machine, I walked to the reception of the gym, and the more I walked, the worse it was getting. So I was getting more and more dizzy. My head was spinning, I was getting dizzy, and I was almost losing control. All right, there's one of the trainers that work in the gym, and he was actually doing a class, and I had to stop him, and I told him, hey bro, can you please just stick with me for a couple of minutes, because I'm really not feeling well. He looked at me, and even him, he was surprised, because I would never say that if it's not like really bad. All right, and I've taken pre-workout, I've taken many pre-workouts, and I've never had this happen to me in my whole life. I've been lifting for 13, 14, 15 years maybe. I stopped counting, all right? So he stayed with me for a couple minutes, and then I'm like, I'm really not well. I couldn't even do another set because my heart was just beating so hard. And actually, when I was doing my sets, the weight felt so light. I was putting a weight that is pretty heavy for the lat pull down, but it felt so light. It's like if my muscles had all that energy. I don't know what I took. All right, well, I knew right away after, but at that time. So next thing you know, I don't feel so well. I'm like, I'll go for a walk outside. He told me, no, don't go outside. I'm like, no, I just need to go outside, maybe breathing some air. My head was spinning. I wasn't feeling well. So I go to the locker room, I take my backpack, and I start getting so paranoid. I start getting so anxious, all right? And it's getting worse and worse, all right? And this is like an hour after taking the pre-workout. I head to the food court because we're in a mall. The gym is located in a mall, so there's a food court for me to go outside. I gotta pass through that food court. So I'm walking in the food court, all right, and I get worse and worse and worse, more and more dizzy. I saw someone walking, all right, he just left the gym too, and I told him, hey, I'm not feeling well, and he didn't really care. He's like, oh yeah, and he just kept walking, and it just shows that sometimes people are in their own world, and it's good to take time to, if someone's talking to you, to understand what's really going on. So anyways, he didn't answer, he didn't care, he kept walking. So I just kept walking, and as I'm in the middle of the food court, I'm like, there's no way I can keep walking till the end. There's no way I can make my way out. I really felt so dizzy, and I felt like I was falling, and my heart was racing like crazy. So I'm like, I have a cake, my banana cake that I always do after the gym. So it was my post-workout meal. I take it out. I'm like, maybe I should eat so it calms everything down. I put a bite of that banana cake in my mouth, and then I spit it out right away because I had no saliva. So my mouth was so dry, I couldn't eat. I spit it out, and then things get worse. Then I walk to a table. There's a table for the food court. I start walking to a table. I put my hand on the table, and then I want to call the cops, but then my hands are trembling, so I'm not able to dial, to call the cops. I'm not even able to dial or call anyone, and I'm not even able to think straight of what I should do. All right. So I just stayed there. I like almost fainted. All right. It was really bad, and I was kind of hopeless because everyone was going to their job, everyone was so busy, and people didn't really like, I didn't even want to talk to people. I didn't even feel like talking, you know. It was really weird. There was a lady cleaning in the food court, and I tried talking to her, but she didn't understand, and she didn't want to get involved, and it's fine, she got scared. So I see a friend that was going to the gym, and I call him from far. I'm like, hey bro, please call the ambulance. I'm really not feeling well. I'm feeling like I'm gonna die. I was really feeling like it was done, you know. My heart was racing, my brain getting more and more anxious, paranoid, and I'm like, what did I take? And my mouth was dry. I felt like I had to vomit. It was so bad, all right? And that's a regular, like, it was a weekday, so an hour later I had all my clients. I work in the gym, so I'm a personal trainer. I had all my clients from 11 till 8 p.m. All my day was booked. Like, I couldn't afford to mess around, you know, so I was getting even more paranoid. But I told him, call the ambulance, it's crazy, what's going on? Also, I was trying to touch my body, and I was not even feeling my hands on me, you know, and I was so cold. So I was so cold from here, trying to touch my hair, let's say, and not even feeling my hand touching, all right? So that's how bad it was. Right after, my friend called the ambulance. Firefighter came, ambulance came. I got in the ambulance, they checked my heart rate, and they said, everything looks fine from the heart rate. We can't do more tests because we're not in a hospital, but if we take you to the emergency, you'll have to wait 12 hours at least because you're young, you're just dizzy. So for them, like, it wasn't a big deal, all right? And I was telling them, like, I really feel like there's something going on. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like it's out of my control, and I'm not feeling well at all. My head is really bad. But for them, it's like, well, your heart rate is good, so we can't take you to the, well, we can take you to the ER, but you will wait in the ER for 12-15 hours, or you can just call a friend and wait with him. And if you still feel bad in the evening, well, you can head to a hospital or a clinic. So I'm like, oh, whoa, they can't even help me. So what's going on? What can I do? So then I called my friend. That friend actually, Patrick, his name is. He really saved my life, because without him, I wouldn't be like. Anyways, I'm so grateful. So I called him. He stayed with me for a couple hours, but it was getting worse, getting worse. He had to go to work after. So then I was trying to walk home. I was like slowly walking home, but it was getting worse and worse. I canceled all my clients for that day. I actually showed up to the gym before where I work. I wanted to work, but it was not going well. All right, so I canceled all my clients for that day. I went home and I was vomiting the whole day. All right, I didn't eat anything. I had zero appetite. Didn't eat nothing. Just drank a lot of water, and my heart was racing the whole day, brain spinning the whole day. Felt so bad, so anxious, and it lasted more than 12 hours, because up until 10 p.m. at night I was still feeling that. All right, and it was not getting better. It was getting maybe slightly better, but not much. And every time I was walking, it was getting worse and worse. Anyways, so I googled that pre-workout also while I was home, because I was home on my own. So I was getting more anxious, because I was reading that pre-workout that I took basically had similar ingredients from the old Jack 3D. So it had DMHA or DMAA and a lot of stuff that will boost your central nervous system, and it's crazy. All right, it's crazy. It was really insane. So if you've heard of the old Jack 3D, or you can do some research on it. It was banned because people died from it. And then I was reading that, and I'm like, whoa, people died from that. Thank God that I stopped after one set, because imagine keep going and the heart is beating like crazy. Well, of course people will have a heart attack. And I'm like, what are they putting in those pre-workouts? Yes, I was aware that it was from the States, and that it was a little bit strong, but in my mind it's like, all right, how strong can it get? A bit more caffeine, a bit more citrulline, and a little bit more beta alanine, and I'm gonna be a little bit itchy for 30 more minutes, but not to that point. All right, that's insane. And I'm used to caffeine, and I'm used to stimulants, and I'm used to pre-workouts, and that happened to me. All right, so it's crazy. Like sometimes we see pre-workouts, and especially older people starting. Imagine someone that is just starting, a kid starting, that is taking those pre-workouts. And in the States, if you're in the States, a lot of things aren't even regulated as well. All right, in Canada is a little bit more, but still we can get our hands on things like that. And maybe I was unlucky, maybe I was stupid for not doing the exact research, but I was also naive, thinking that because it comes from a legit box or a legit labeling, so it has to be, it can't be steroids in my mind. It's like it's like it's a pre-workout. What can it be? All right. Well, there you go. I've had that worst experience, one of the worst in my whole life. Trust me, because the anxiety, the paranoia. I also started hallucinating at a certain point. But anyway, so it had similar ingredients than the old Jack 3D, and it's still out there. So be careful, guys, with the pre-workouts. Make sure that, after that, I'm very careful with my pre-workouts and the stimulants. It happened 5-6 days ago, but I used to take like regular pre-workouts, all right? But now I'm taking a bit less, and I don't want to stimulate my body as much, and all the caffeine and all of this and all of that. And if you're young and you're starting to training, be careful of all the supplements. There's some supplements that are crazy. Not because it's in a bottle, because it has a nice labeling that it's regulated. It might have things that can kill you. I basically did the overdose of a drug. All right, I was like intoxicated with a drug, and I couldn't do anything about it. All right, and I didn't even know up until it was too late. So be careful. It's really to help people to be more aware. Make sure that the things you're taking, they're, first of all, the ingredients that are there, you understand what they're doing, that they're legal. All right, if something is illegal, it's for a reason. All right, it wasn't steroids, it wasn't a drug. Well, it was a drug, but it was a drug actually, but it wasn't steroids, but it was a drug that can potentially get your heart rate like up so fast that it can kill someone from a heart attack. All right, so there you go. Be careful with the pre-workouts that you're taking. Make sure that you understand it, and if you don't need it, you don't need it. All right. For all the people, if you're under 25 and you have to take pre-workouts and pre-workout and pre-workout every workout, well then either you're not sleeping well or you're not eating well, but something's going wrong if you're always so tired. And it's kind of woke me up and it gave me a wake-up call on all those stimulants. Well, I do take a lot of pre-workouts before each training. I work almost 10 hours a day as a personal trainer, so I need a lot of energy. But then again, there's better ways than just pumping ourselves with a lot of stimulants. All right, and be careful of the ones that do contain things like DMAA, DMHA. Those are the things that I took. All right, and trust me, you don't want to experience that. You don't need that. All right, it's so bad. I don't know if it's legal in the States or anywhere else. It's illegal in Canada, I think. All right, maybe now they're coming up with new substances that are very similar, but it's basically like meth, all right, or like speed, and it's so bad for the body. So be careful of that. Be careful of the pre-workout you're taking. I just wanted to share this story so nobody experienced that. I really don't wish, actually what I was going through it, I was telling my friend, I don't wish that to even my worst enemy, because the feeling that I had that day, it was so bad. All right, so there you go. I hope this story helps someone. Okay, the supplements you're taking, make sure that you know what it is. Make sure you read the labels, and don't think that the stronger pre-workout you take, the stronger it will make you. All right, it's the opposite. It will really have a bad impact on you. All right, don't go too crazy on the pre-workout. Stick to your protein, your creatine, your amino acids. Those are okay, those are good. But all the pre-workouts, the stimulants, the energy drinks, all those stuff, do you really need that? Do you really need, after a good 8 hours of sleep, a good breakfast, do you really need to be pumped up with all those stimulants before training? All right, think about your heart. Trust me, it really woke me up after that experience. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It wasn't a nice experience for me, but it can be a good experience and a good lesson. It can be a good lesson for you to learn from my mistakes. All right, don't take any pre-workout that is illegal or that is too strong or that you have ingredients that are not 100% legal or that are too strong. All right, don't take those stuff. Stick to the pre-workouts that are more less stimulants and more pump focused. All right, citrulline and those kind of ingredients, those are nice. All right, so there you go. If you have questions, leave it in the comment. If you're new to my channel, well, leave a like, a comment, follow me. See you soon. Ciao.